The designer series paper that I'm using is from the Tea Boutique collection. And then I'm combining a couple of sets to get this look. So on the outside it says, I miss you. On the inside it says, let's get together soon. So let's talk about what we're going to need to make this card. These are Stampin' Up products. If you're new to my channel, I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. And so the products you see featured here are going to be Stampin' Up products. And you can order any of these at my blog site, karenscardsandmore.com. You'll be able to find the card recipe there, as well as the links to order any of the products. If you want to find out any more information about anything to do with Stampin' Up, there'll be all kinds of good links there. So the first set that I'm featuring, stamp set, is the Jar of Flowers. We're going to be using the mason jar, and we're also going to be using these for straws. Then we're also going to use the Cup of Tea stamp set. We're using the greetings from here as well as the lemon. And then there's a coordinating die set. You can bundle them and save 10%, or you can buy the collection, which gives you the designer series paper and the stamp set, the die set. You get a whole lot of goodies for your money. We're going to be using the lemon slice die out of that set. And so also with the Jar of Flowers, there's a coordinating punch that will punch out the mason jars. So we're going to need that. Our card base is crushed curry, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored on the long side in the middle at 4 1/4. Then we're going to need 2 pieces. This is designer series paper out of that same set as these lemons. This is the Tea Boutique collection. I'm using these 2 for my mason jars. Then I have a piece of the lemons, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have a piece of basic white that is 4 1/4 by 3, and that's going to be our piece on the front, and then an inside piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. Then you're going to need a couple scraps of basic white for some other stamping. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to do all of our stamping first. So let's start with our mason jars. So I picked out 2 patterns that I liked for my summer card, and we're just going to use black memento, and we're just going to stamp the mason jars on this designer series paper, directly on the paper. Make sure I got good coverage. I'm just going to stamp that down. And then I'm going to do one on the blue. Okay, we've got our jars done. And then for our inside piece, we're going to be putting this Let's Get Together Soon in the middle. And this is also black memento. Stamp that right in there. And then for the front panel in the middle, towards the top, we're going to do this I Miss You. This is all out of the black memento. I'm just going to put that towards the top. Just like that. And then the rest of it, we're going to be using colors. So we're going to be doing, I have a scrap here that I'm going to use for the straw, the 2 straws, and then I have a scrap here that I'm going to use for our lemon slice. We're also going to stamp some lemon slices on this piece. So let's start with that. the 3 ink colors I'm using Daffodil Delight for my lemons. For my 2 straws, I'm using Petal Pink and Tahitian Tide because that matches the designer series paper that we just used. So let's start with our lemons. Let me bring in my lemons. So I'm going to do, the first stamp is going to be full strength, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp a second time without re-inking. So I'm going to get my ink on my lemon slice, and I'm just going to put it in the corner. And then I'm just going to turn around and twist it and stamp again for a lighter lemon slice without re-inking. And I'm going to do the same to the other corner. So I'm just going to do a full strength. And you've probably seen me do this a lot. I love the look of this for the inside of my cards, just to dress it up a little bit. So we're done with that. Then out of a scrap of the basic white, I'm going to do another lemon slice, and this one we're going to be die cutting because we're going to use it on the front of our card. So then I'm going to die cut that out, and I have one that I've done ahead of time, so we're going to use that. We're done with the Daffodil Delight. So now I'm ready to do my straws, and I'm going to be using Tahitian Tide and Petal Pink. So I'm going to start with my Petal Pink, and I'm going to bring in my scrap paper for this. I had this one piece that was already pretty well cut the size I would want. I just wanted a little bit bigger than the stamp, and I didn't really care if there's some white on either side. So I'm going to do half of this in the Petal Pink, half in the Tahitian Tide. I only need little pieces of straws to go down behind my jars. So I'm going to start with the Petal Pink. And I'm just going to do half the straw in Petal Pink. I think that looks good. And I'm going to just trim that. So then I'm going to clean my stamp off so I can come in with the Tahitian Tide to do the other side of the straw. I just need small little pieces, so I'm going to stamp that down. And there, I can just trim those off and we'll be fine. So close all my inks. We've got all our stamping done. This is really a pretty quick card to put together, but it's a really cute card. So I'm going to come in with my punch, and I'm going to punch out my 2 mason jars. So I'm just going to line this up in here. Really easy to line up. There's that one. Let's do the second one. So I'm just going to line this up. Okay, got both of our jars. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors. And for my little lemon slice, the one that's kind of in the middle, I just want to cut it about halfway. I'm just making a slit. And that's going to hang on our mason jar to give us the look of a lemon wedge that's on the jar. So then I'm just going to cut my straws. I'm just going to cut the Tahitian Tide, and I'm going to leave them this full length that I have stamped for now, because I can always trim them if I need smaller pieces. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm just going to, with my snips, I'm just going to trim some of this excess white off. Just trimming down the side. And probably my longer snips would be easier because I'd have to do fewer cuts. because I could cut more of the straw at one time. Okay, so there's that straw ready. And then I'm going to come in and do the same thing to the Tahitian tied straw. Just trimming the excess white off. Okay, so now we've got all of our pieces together and we're ready to put the card together. So I'm going to bring in my card base. First thing I'm going to do is bring in my inside piece, and we're just going to glue this into the inside. So I'm just going to bring in my liquid glue. And I'm just going to center this on here and press it down. And I'm just going to fold this over. I'm just going to come in with my bone folder, give it a nice good crease. And now we're ready to do the front. So always look at your orientation, make sure we're getting everything right. I'm going to set this aside. Well, let's go ahead and put our lemon piece on there. We can go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to put liquid glue on the back of this. And if you're, whatever pattern you're using, if it's directional, you want to make sure you get it the right way. And I think that looks good. So turn this back around. Now we have our piece for the front that we can go ahead and glue on. And we're just going to center this. You could call this iced tea, you could call it lemonade, whatever you would want to be drinking out of your mason jars. Okay, so for the next thing that I'm going to do, I know that my jars are going to go like this, and I want to pop those up with dimensionals. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and attach my straw. So I'm going to put the Tahitian tied with the pink mason jar and the petal pink with the Tahitian tied. So I'm just going to use a glue dot. And I'm going to put it to the front of my straw. And you'll see why in just a moment. Okay, and this is going to go on my petal pink. And I just want to, put this at an angle. And I'm not going to have much of the straw showing, just about that much. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the extra. Okay. I'm going to straighten that up just a little bit. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the petal pink that's going to go on the Tahitian tied. Again, I'm just going to come in with a glue dot on the front of my straw. Just pressing it down in the glue dot. And that looks good right there. And that one's okay. I'm not going to worry about trimming that. And then I'm going to come in with my lemon slice. And I know that I want my lemon slice to go on my Tahitian Tide. Something like that is what I'm going to do. So on the back of this piece that's going to be on the front, I'm just going to put a glue dot on there. And so I'm going to put this on here like this, get it turned the way I want it, and then just press it down with the glue dot, just like that. Okay, now I'm just going to come in with some dimensionals. We've almost got this card whipped out. Very easy card, just not much to it at all. So I'm just going to spread some dimensionals around on our jar. Make sure I get both jars. Just like that. And I'm going to remove the paper backing. And then we're ready to put these on the card. I know that I want the pink one to go down first. So I'm just going to I want this corner to be about in the middle. And then from there, I'm just going to angle it. Just like that. And then I want the blue one to kind of be on top. And that looks good right there. And there we have it. This is the card that we made together today. Here's the one that I made ahead of time. Very quick, very easy, great summer card. You could always change up the greetings if you needed a birthday card or a different type card. You could always do that. Just a really fun card. Hope you'll give this a try. Hope you'll invest in these. I love this cup of tea set and the jar of flowers. Great card to show off how these can work well together. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up or a comment. I always read those and respond to those. Be sure to check out my Facebook group, my Facebook page, and I will be back to craft with you again soon.